Thank you so much for deciding to hear more of my story. So, literally, for the last 4 years, I have been inspired by Miss Diane Nash. I was introduced to her on December 2nd, 2010, via the documentary Freedom Riders by Stanley Nelson. Now, the documentary centers around the truly, truly courageous men and women who, in 1961, challenged segregation in the American South. And I was incredibly moved by all of their stories. I mean, the bravery, the faith, the conviction, the passion, the risk they took with their lives because they believed in this so much was something to me that I just couldn't even truly fathom what that felt like. But the one person that struck a chord with me was Diane Nash. When I saw her on screen, I was, one, surprised because I was like, who is she? How come I never heard about her? And she was instrumental. She was a leader in organizing and the strategist behind the Freedom Ride. So when I left there, I was all excited because I had all this new bit of history that I didn't know before. And since then, I've pretty much researched and read everything I could find on her. And the more I read, the more admiration I had for her, the more questions I had, the more I wanted to know, the more I felt like I need to know her story and I need to connect with her. And it was to the point where I would read stuff, and because I knew she was from Chicago, I would have these little dreams of meeting her at a cafe in Chicago, and we'd sit and over tea and she's chatting, she's sharing, and I'm learning all this stuff. And in those moments, it felt really good to dream because I felt like I was a part of her story and what I was reading, a part of history. But one day while I was researching, I hit a crossroad. And it's that moment when you realize that it is time to take a leap, to do something courageous, to no longer rely on what you're seeing in the books. And so I decided I'm going to write Miss Nash a letter. Now, I found like a mailing address and email online. I had no idea if they were actual or not, but I decided, what the hell, I better just send this because I have so much that I want to say and I want to learn. So wrote the letter, folded it, sealed it, mailed it off. On January 27th, 2014, a few days after I had mailed the letter, I was still looking online because I wasn't sure if that email or anything was accurate, and I just felt like I just needed to continue. I did that, but I still need to continue. So I was looking online and found out that she was going to be speaking at an event. And so I immediately called the host, got the details, realized it wasn't that far from where I am, and I got all the information, booked a plane ticket, and then within days I was on my way to meet her. Now, for me, it wasn't until I was on my way to the airport that I realized, oh my God, I am about to meet and see in the flesh Diane Nash, this person that I've solely known through books, through the internet, through newspaper clippings. And I didn't know what to do. I felt like if I could just scream at any moment. But I was so excited that I was going to have this moment with Diane Nash. And it was truly an amazing feeling. So on February 2nd, 2014 was the event which she was speaking at. And because I had called beforehand, I knew there was a reception. So of course, I made plans to attend the reception ahead of time. And while sitting there, I was just bubbly. The entire time inside, I was just like screaming like Oprah, like, oh, Diane Nash! So when she walks in the room, I was completely transfixed. I didn't know what to do or say because I was like, oh, this is really happening. Like, I am really meeting an American hero. And as she walked in, I mean, she was super nice and graceful and had this air about her that she didn't want to be separated from all of us that was there at the reception. She really wanted to connect. And they took a few questions, and as I raised my hand to ask a question, they took someone else's and said that was going to be the last one. So a part of me kind of sank because I was like, oh no, I just missed an opportunity. But I realized that, okay, maybe I can ask for a photo afterwards. So the moment the last question was asked and she answered it, I grabbed, believe it or not, I had printed out a copy of that letter because I still wasn't sure if it would have even gotten to her because I had no way to vet it. So I grabbed my letter and I walked up to her. Now, in my dreams of when I was going to meet her, I thought I'd be cool, collected, calm, really just say what I have to say and be completely buttoned up. Yeah, that didn't really happen. So I walk up to her to hand her the letter. And as I am speaking, this huge wave of emotion came over me because I realized I was finally getting the opportunity to tell her how much she inspired me and that I truly believe her story is one to be told and that I want to help her. So I was so moved by the moment and felt like there was no reason for me to have a filter because for 4 years there's been this separation and now I was having the moment to actually speak to her. So I just let it go and I told her and everything and she just looks at me and she just smiled and hugged me and she was like, is all your information in here? And I was like, it is. Everything's in there that you need. And everyone is like watching us and just kind of like taken aback as I was by my own outpouring. But it felt so good to be truthful and just live in that and share with her. And she totally was receptive of it. And after that, we went on to her event, which was shortly after the reception. And it was a beautiful evening because she shared and she spoke about her experience with nonviolence movement. And she talked about the agape love, which means the love of all humankind, and how that's the place where she operates from. And if we all operated from a place of the love for all humankind, then it would eliminate a lot of the injustice and things that in wars and stuff that's going on now. And to me, that was very impactful. In addition to her sharing all the 6 phases of the nonviolence movement, and she was super funny. I mean, she talked about moments with Harry Belafonte and Sidney Poitier, but what I was not expecting, but so glad I was there to hear, was that she talked about and shared that even though, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a great leader, he was also a great companion and conversationalist on double dates. And I'm like, this woman went on a double date with what she calls Martin because they're so cool, like we're so close friends, that I was just in awe at the amount of history that lies within her, with her story, her experiences. And that night, for me, is the beginning of my connection to Miss Nash. And now that she has all my info, she knows my intentions, and I'm still going to continue to research and look at stuff because her story is one that I want to tell. And whether it's me writing something or her sharing with me and I'm helping her to get that out, or if someone is shooting a film and they need someone to portray Diane Nash, I'm going to tell that story. So I am very excited and extremely grateful to have heard about this film, to have been introduced to her, to have been on this journey. And I really look forward to sharing more of this story with you, as she is an American hero, and it is a story I want to tell.